Arsenal agree a £75 million deal to sign the Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes. Despite interest from Arsenal, Vinicius Jr. is expected to stay at Real Madrid after a day of contract talks. Hi, good evening. Welcome along to the Transfer Show. Busy one tonight, so busy that even Michael Bridge and James Savunda have done some work. Loads to get through this evening. Mohamed Salah, what about him? Well, he is greeted to a hero's welcome in Turkey after that shock move to Trabzonspor. Enzo Maresca gives an update on Savinho's future amid interest from Spurs.
Moving on from that to Julian Alvarez and Arsenal. Let me just start by Vinny Jr. At the end, Vinny Jr. accepted a contract that is lower than what he wanted by Real Madrid. He's adamant to stay at Real Madrid. He will always be in the shadow of Kylian Mbappe, in my opinion. However, I understand why some players, you want to play for the biggest club in the world. You want to play for Real Madrid. It's glamorous. Vinny Jr. by himself has 65 million followers. So for him, playing for Real Madrid, it feeds that. And he has a lot of followers from Real Madrid. Arsenal got a massive fan base. But in the same time, no club in the world are Real Madrid. Not Barcelona, not PSG, not Man City, not even Manchester United. Real Madrid is the top of the food chain in football. But I'm going to say something about this. Vinny Jr. didn't want to step out of his comfort zone. And I've always said this, wallahi, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, before I even did YouTube, before I spoken with you guys, I said that I command players that are brave to step out of their comfort zone to go to a different league and try to build a name for themselves. He chose to be comfortable. He chose to stay at Real Madrid. He chose to stay at a club that actually maybe it's guaranteed that you're going to be a good player, superstar there. Is not a lot of challenges for you. Like if you step out, you go to, not Bayern, you go to City, you go to Chelsea, you go to Man United, you go to Arsenal. These clubs in the Premier League are a tougher case. And the reason why they are a tough case, because nothing is guaranteed in the Premier League. If you're a Bayern Munich, you're probably guaranteed to win the league. If you're a PSG, you're guaranteed to win the Ligue 1. If you're a Real Madrid, the worst can happen is you come second. That's the worst. But for me, it is what it is. He accepted a lower contract. Did I want him to go to Arsenal? I wanted him to go to the Premier League. And it would have been good for the people that cover the Premier League like myself. But Julian Alvarez now is becoming the primary target for Arsenal. This transfer saga has died down over the last 3 weeks because of the Vinny Jr. news, because Barcelona are looking to add different players. The bid that Barcelona submitted, they said they expired at the end of last month in July. So now there is new sets of talk between Barca and Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid said he's staying, but they have to say this. I think Arsenal should go all in for Julian Alvarez. I think if there is an opportunity, and I know that I will piss you off. I know that you will be pissed when I say this. If there is an opportunity to swap Victor Gyökeres with Julian Alvarez and pay some money, I think, and that is my opinion, Arsenal should do it. I know they're going to sell Gabriel Jesus to Turkey. There are clubs that are interested in him in Saudi Arabia as well. But I believe that Julian Alvarez is better than Victor Gyökeres. I believe that Julian Alvarez adds to Arsenal way more than Victor Gyökeres. We have watched Victor Gyökeres last season. He was okay in some games, and he was bad in some games. He wasn't phenomenal in any of the games. But it looks like Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Julian Alvarez. I don't have the actual tweet about it. It's a confirmed news that Julian Alvarez has agreed personal terms. But what does that mean, personal terms? It means that already Arsenal have presented the offer for Julian Alvarez, and Julian Alvarez said, yes, if I join you, these terms are accepted. A lot of people are stupid nowadays. And they think when I say that personal terms agreed that he's joining Arsenal. No. His priority is still to stay in Spain and join Barcelona. But what if Barcelona don't pay the money? Atletico Madrid aren't accepting Barca or Real Madrid offers for Julian Alvarez. So the only other option for him is to actually go to Arsenal if He wants to leave Atletico Madrid. Maybe the guy wants to stay in Spain and wants to stay at Atletico Madrid. But the reports are saying that he still wants to move on from Atletico Madrid. And it's not about England. He doesn't mind going to England. He is okay with going to England. Arsenal as a potential suitors for him is okay. I think Arsenal should go all in for him. I think they should pay the money. If it's 120, even if it's Victor Gyökeres plus 60, pay it, pay it, pay it. That's what I think. I know a lot of you disagree with me, but I am telling you, he is going to change your lives. He already went to the Premier League before with Man City, and he was fantastic for them. I think this deal should be the priority for Arsenal now. This should be the target for Arsenal in the next week or two. There is only less than 4 weeks left in the transfer market. Arsenal should do this before the season starts. Maybe should get him earlier. And Arsenal should go in and should try to convince Julian Alvarez to join the club. But there's still the left winger thing. I know a lot of us have spoken about Vinny Jr. It was a possibility. Arsenal could have landed Vinny Jr. if they didn't agree a contract with Real Madrid. But now Arsenal need to strengthen in the left winger. And Iliman Ndiaye is the new target for Arsenal on the left winger. It looks like now they're going to split the money between two players, a left winger and a striker, which is Julian Alvarez and Ndiaye. He was very good at Everton. He plays left, he plays right. But I want to ask you a question. Does he raise the ceiling for Arsenal? Because Arsenal are looking for players to raise the ceiling, not to raise the floor. A guy coming from Everton that playing spaces on the counter-attack, that always has spaces. I like the player. Technical ability is phenomenal. He's one of the best dribblers in the league. Yes, we have seen Ndiaye tear teams apart with his dribbling. But are you willing to take the risk? How much would Everton make for this? People are saying that I praise every signing, for every link I praise. I actually think this is a major risk. I know that Arsenal need a player, and
Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal have a 20 million euro, which is about 17 million pounds. Expectation for any sale of Gabriel Jesus. I tell you, if Arsenal get 17 million pounds for Gabriel Jesus, they would have done exceptionally well. So we will keep an eye on this story, but Napoli interested in Gabriel Jesus. Of course, I think Rasmus Højlund is still there and will be there next season, of course. So he is very much going to be in competition with him for a position in the team if he moves there, but fingers crossed Arsenal can get a good fee for a player that it just is not of the required level at Arsenal anymore. Really? And by the way, that's not a dig at James. I texted James last night saying I had to actually check if this was a parody account before I read the story, because I hadn't heard anything regarding this. But James Manicholas of The Athletic reporting that Arsenal are among the clubs interested in Christian Romero, but with Spurs totally unwilling to sell to their North London rivals, it looks a non-starter. Atletico and Inter Milan likelier destinations. Arsenal still looking to strengthen their central defence. Of course, Arsenal really looking for another defender after the injury suffered by William Saliba. Romero, yeah, look, it's a solid no from me. Arsenal don't need that type of character that just gets red cards more than he breathes, to be honest. So you get the sense of kind of where this has come from, make kind of Argentinian links in the squad maybe. But yeah, I haven't got any expectations that this will happen. But it doesn't surprise me that maybe Arsenal are looking at Romero just because of the desperation of need for a centre-half. He can be good. If you removed like the temperament, the chaotic mindset, the rash challenges, his demeanour, remove all of those integral parts of his personality and gameplay, and he's actually a really good defender. But the problem is that he has all of those things in droves. And so I have absolutely zero interest in him joining. But, you know, he's a World Cup winner. He's got to another World Cup final. He is a good defender, but he's just got too many elements of his personality and how he plays. Interesting story, of course. Jermaine says here, Diomande from Sporting, please. The suggestions are that the move for Diomande from Nottingham Forest has collapsed because Nottingham Forest are unwilling to pay around 40 million euros. Arsenal should be all over that. If you want a young defender with lots of pace and aerial threat and is a really strong player at the top level playing in the Champions League, Ousmane Diomande is absolutely a player that Arsenal should go for. But I've heard nothing yet to suggest that Arsenal are going to enter that file. But I just think it's such an obvious and potential smart move. But they must have a reason for not entering it. But at 40 million euros, when you've got, the idea of signing Ezri Konsa instead for 50 million quid, I really don't understand that. I hope Arsenal change their mind. Yes, I know he's left-footed. That is kind of an aspect of this that obviously is fair. But